Hello everyone. We are currently at the epicenter of the most devastating flood disaster Romania has seen in a decade. Storm Boris has ravaged everything in just a few hours, turning these streets into raging rivers. Thousands of people have had to evacuate urgently as the floodwaters surged too quickly. Scenes of destruction and despair are spread everywhere. We are now attempting to venture deeper into areas that have been completely isolated. Nature is testing the resilience of the people here. Water from the major rivers has overflowed, devastating residential areas, leaving behind nothing but mud and rubble. All roads have been cut off, and no vehicles can move. The residents can only watch as their belongings are swept away by the floodwaters. With no way out, they are facing despair and fear. Cries for help echo everywhere, but rescue teams have not yet been able to reach in time. The once peaceful homes are now submerged in a sea of water. Residents are forced to climb onto their rooftops, clinging to boards as they await rescue. They have no clean water, no electricity, and no way to escape this situation. All they can do is wait in despair as the storm wreaks havoc. With every passing second, the floodwaters continue to rise, threatening to engulf everything in sight. A sense of helplessness and fear blankets the entire area. Rescue teams are doing their utmost to save the people still trapped. Helicopters and rescue boats are racing against time, but the harsh weather conditions are making the work extremely difficult. Heavy rains continue to pour down, and strong winds are making it dangerous to reach the flooded areas. Yet, they do not give up, continuing to search for and rescue survivors. This is truly a battle against the merciless forces of nature. The large bridge connecting residential areas has been swept away, completely cutting off the main roads. This has made rescue efforts extremely difficult, as there is no longer any access for the rescue teams. Powerful waves have taken everything, from the bridge to vehicles and houses. This situation has only increased isolation and danger. No one can predict how much worse it will get if the storm continues. The cars, once daily means of transportation, are now being swept away like toys in the violent floodwaters. Hundreds of vehicles have been destroyed, and the loss of property is immeasurable. But what's even more terrifying is that no one knows if there are still people trapped inside those cars. All that remains is a weight filled with rising anxiety. Storm Boris has turned this place into a land of death. A family is trying to escape their flooded home, holding on to each other to avoid being swept away. The children in their parents' arms are crying, panicked by the force of the rushing water. They have no other choice but to risk wading through the swift current in search of survival. Every step could be the difference between life and death. These images truly wrench our hearts, revealing the harsh brutality of nature. We just witnessed a deeply emotional moment. A child was safely lifted from the floodwaters thanks to the bravery of the rescue teams. But below, hundreds of others remain trapped in their flooded homes, unsure of when their turn will come. The battle to save lives is happening every second, but time is not on their side. The floodwaters continue to rise, pushing everyone into an increasingly dangerous situation. The once bustling streets are now in ruins, with trees uprooted and homes destroyed. What remains is just debris submerged in water. These images send chills down viewers' spines, revealing the unimaginable destruction caused by the storm. Everything seems to have been swept away in just one night. The people here will have to face the terrible aftermath for many years to come. The military has been urgently mobilized to assist in the rescue efforts. With specialized equipment, they are trying to reach the isolated areas. But time is not on our side. The water continues to rise with no sign of receding. All efforts are now focused on saving as many people as possible before Storm Boris causes further devastation. This is truly a life and death battle against both time and nature. Not only humans, but animals are also suffering greatly from this flood. Dogs and cats are trapped on rooftops with no shelter. They are scared and exhausted after hours of waiting for help. These images are truly heartbreaking, as no living being has escaped the devastation of nature. People are doing everything they can to save the remaining pets, but the floodwaters continue to rise. Not only humans, but animals are also suffering greatly from this flood. Dogs and cats are trapped on rooftops with no shelter. They are scared and exhausted after hours of waiting for help. These images are truly heartbreaking, as no living being has escaped the devastation of nature. People are doing everything they can to save the remaining pets, but the floodwaters continue to rise. The floodwaters are sweeping away everything in their path. From possessions and wood to waste, everything is mixed together into a horrific scene. The flood spares nothing, and the people can do nothing but watch. Everything they have built in their lives is now reduced to rubble. It will take a long time to recover from this devastation if Storm Boris finally subsides. One of the most heartbreaking images we have recorded is this school, now submerged in water. The classrooms and schoolyard have disappeared beneath the floodwaters. What was once a symbol of knowledge and hope is now reduced to a pile of rubble buried in mud. Parents are not only worried about their children's future, but also about the safety of their entire family in this critical situation. The scene is truly haunting. A vast land is now nothing but an endless sea of water. Nothing remains intact, and nothing has escaped the wrath of nature. This flood will undoubtedly go down in history, but for the people here, they will have to live with its unforeseeable consequences for many years to come. And the biggest question now is, when will it end?